If you've been debating on whether to buy a new construction or a resale home here in San Diego, you need to know that there are some major disadvantages along with some positives between the two. So today we're actually going to give you all the details. That way you can make the best decision. By the way, my name is Nick, and you guys are reaching out all the time, and we love helping you guys out. So if you're thinking about making a move in or around San Diego, just shoot us a text, shoot us an email, or just straight up give us a call so we can help you save a ton of time and just help you make a smooth move right here to San Diego. Now, lately, I've been seeing this a ton with my clients, and that is they don't know whether they want to get a new construction home or if they want to go down the resale home path. And here in San Diego, you literally just have two choices. You have the resale homes, and then you have a small bit of new construction happening. Now, a lot of people really do desire a new home. And a new home to me in San Diego is anything built somewhere in the last 20 years. And I know that sounds a little funky, but again, in San Diego, a lot of our homes were built in the 70s and 80s, and some of these neighborhoods, depending on where you're looking at, are way older, like in the 50s and 40s. So you just have to keep that in mind. And a lot of the older homes are going to be considered fixer-uppers. It's just going to depend on the condition. But let's go ahead and dive into the advantages of new construction and resale. We'll start with the advantages of new construction, and the first one being no bidding wars. This one is huge, and this is probably not just my favorite, but a lot of buyers' favorites, because when you're buying a resale home, guess what? When you see that asking price is $900,000, it is very likely, if there's multiple bids on it, it's going to go a little bit or well over $900,000. If you see a new construction home listed at $900,000, that is what you're paying for that current phase or whatever that builder is marketing the price for. That is what you're paying. And it's great because you're not having to do a multiple bid scenario and have to do counter offers and anything like that. You literally submit the contract and you are good to go. So that's a huge advantage. The next positive with new construction is you might score a deal, and deals are very hard to come by, especially the last 4 or 5 years, but deals are still out there, and I've been seeing them happen on new construction. I'm not talking about getting the purchase price reduced or anything like that. I'm talking about incentives. And the ones that we've been seeing and we've been getting is lender incentives. We've been seeing some really awesome ones, whether it's $20,000 to buy down your rate. Maybe you're going to do a 2-1 buy down, or some of these lenders, or I should say builders, are permanently buying down your rate for 30 years, which is phenomenal. And I'm seeing some crazy rates, sometimes in the 5 percentiles, which is crazy to see that, but that is actually happening. Or you can also get maybe some incentives with closing costs to help, keep money in your pocket and things like that. We've definitely seen a lot of that happening, so that's huge. Next advantage is new everything. When you're buying a brand new home, that means you're getting new plumbing, new electrical, a new roof, new floors. Everything is brand new. This is amazing, and especially a lot of our clients come to us and they don't want to buy a home that needs TLC. It's the last thing they want. They're moving to San Diego to enjoy San Diego. They don't want to worry about replacing the roof in a couple years or the water heater exploding. Everything is brand new, so you don't have to worry about anything breaking in the foreseeable future. So this is amazing. Next is the modern floor plans, and people love a nice modern floor plan. Let me tell you, that's like the biggest thing I hear. People are always walking into some of these resale homes and they're like, I'm gonna knock down that wall, I'm gonna knock down that wall. Half the time you can't even knock down some of those walls, but you know what I'm saying. These new builds, they have the freshest and just the best designs. Right when you walk in through the entrance of the house, they have those very wide open floor plans that just people seem to love. As we know, people spend a lot of time in the kitchen, in the living room, in the family room. This is all kind of combined, and you can see your kids running on the other side of the house. It's very wide open, which people seem to love, so that's one big advantage. Next is builder warranties. This is an awesome tool, especially if you're buying a new construction home, and make sure you're finding out what they offer, but most builders will offer the 1-year home warranty. So if anything breaks in the house, if you've lived there for 3 months or 9 months or 10 months, you give that builder a call and you let them know, hey, these lights aren't working, or hey, the plumbing's getting a little weird over here, or whatever the case is. Make sure you call them, because they will come back out and they will repair it and make it as good as new. So definitely be taking advantage of that. That's also what we are here for too, is to make sure you guys are getting the proper warranties, because every builder is a little bit different. Some offer a 10-year structural, make sure you're getting that. Some offer 2-year on plumbing, 3-year on electrical. It really depends. So make sure you guys are reaching out so we can help figure out what you're getting, but the home warranties are a huge advantage. The next positive is customization. Back in the day, you could not really customize your new construction home. You could once you bought it and you had your contractor come in, but when it comes to the product that you wanted, what they were showing you in the model homes is literally the finishes and what you were getting. If they were purple cabinets, sorry, you're getting purple cabinets. Nowadays, that's a bit different, to where you literally can design everything from the countertops to the floor to the cabinets to just about everything. You can't switch around the floor plans, but you can definitely choose different finishes. And a lot of these places have some really good design centers. KB Homes has one of my favorite design centers. They got some really smart designers in there that will help you choose the right finishes and just make the space feel a lot bigger. Now that we know the advantages of new construction, let's talk a little bit about the advantages of resale homes. And the first one is going to be more charm and character. Now, as you know, a lot of these new developments, every house looks exactly the same. They're tract homes. And I get a lot of people that literally have called me and say, Nick, we're looking for a tract home community. That's what some people love, and that's what some people want. They want the HOA. They want to make sure there's no boats hanging out front of their house and there's no trailers and things like that. But a large majority of people actually reach out and they want those older custom neighborhoods with the big mature trees. They want, just more character like that. And here in San Diego, luckily, that's what we have a ton of. We have a ton of older neighborhoods, like I said, that were built in the 70s and 80s. And a lot of these homes, you look at one home, it's a Spanish Santa Fe style home, and the very next door neighbor is a Craftsman style home. So there's a lot more character in some of these neighborhoods with the resale homes. The next positive with resale is most of the fixing up is typically cosmetic stuff. And what I actually mean by that is a lot of people are like, oh, fixer up or this, it needs TLC. Yeah, that is true, but you have a ton of time capsules here in San Diego, which means they're just completely original. So you just need somebody to come in there and swap the bathroom vanities. Maybe you need some new light fixtures. Maybe the cabinets need to be painted. Things like that, that really, yes, it costs money, but at the end of the day, it totally brings the house back to life. And the best part is, a lot of this stuff, we can get the tradesmen to come into the home and do estimates, take measurements before you close on the house. That way, when you do close, you have them there on day one, changing all these items. You know what you're gonna have to pay, and you have an actual timeline. So then you move into your kind of a brand new home, and it's a resale home. Next is larger lots. If you are looking for a large lot, you hands down need to be looking into resale homes. A lot of these builders, well, we're gonna talk about it in a little bit, but they build on smaller lots, and these houses are crammed up next to each other. But if you want these huge lots, you have that dream of building a tree house for your kids, or maybe you wanna play soccer in the backyard or baseball and just have an area with your own space and park in the backyard, you're definitely gonna be wanting to look into resale homes. The next positive is it's much easier to find a home. If you are on a tight timeline, you definitely wanna be looking at resale homes because they're gonna be easier to find. A lot of these spec homes and new construction homes, they're not gonna be done for 4 to 8 months. It really depends on the builder. But with resale, chances are once you find that house, it's only gonna be about 3 or 4 weeks before you can actually move in. It's gonna depend on the seller situation, but a lot of these closings that are happening right now, I'm seeing 21-day closes. So that means from the day the contract starts, people are literally able to move in within about 3 weeks. So if you're on a tight timeline, definitely be looking at resale. And guys, remember, as much as we love making these videos for you guys, we love helping you with your real estate needs just a little bit more. So if you have any questions on resale or new construction homes, all of our information is down below. All right, so what are some of the disadvantages with new construction? Well, we've already kind of named a few, but the first one is going to be if you are on a timeline and you need to move into something quicker, new construction might not be the best option because a lot of the stuff that's being marketed by these builders, these aren't gonna be done and ready to move in for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 2 years. Like, you really don't know when you're gonna be moving in this. Yeah, they'll give you an estimate, but a lot of these timelines are going to be stretched out. So it might work out if you do have a home to sell. This could kind of work out, but besides that, if you're on a tighter timeline, new construction is going to be a little bit harder to get into quick. The next disadvantage is smaller lots. A lot of these builders like to cram a ton of homes into these developments, which means you're just gonna be living a lot closer to your neighbor. And I'm not kidding, some of these that I've seen, you are literally arm length from your neighbor's windows. So a lot of people, it doesn't really bother them, but there's also a ton of people out there that they don't like that and they wanna have some space and be able to breathe and not, have your neighbor that close to you. So just keep in mind that a lot of these single family, detached new construction homes, they're on lots about 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. I've even seen I actually saw one model home that was a 3,800 square foot home on a 5,000 square foot lot. It didn't really make much sense to me because it was all house, there was no yard, there was nothing. And then with some of these townhomes, you're also going to be really close to, the sidewalk or maybe garages, just something to keep in mind. Another disadvantage is going to be less established neighborhoods. A lot of these new developments, even when it comes to their trees and the landscape, everything is tiny, tiny, tiny little sticks throughout the neighborhood. The plants are just very immature yet. They haven't, it hasn't had 10 years, 15, 20 years to really grow into a giant, beautiful tree. So I've heard a lot of people say that stuff, especially when we're going to look at new construction homes. It's a big turnoff to people. They don't like that there's, little to no trees and there's just not much character to a neighborhood yet. Will it get character eventually? Oh yeah, some of these communities that were built 15 years ago, San Elijo Hills, Forest Ranch, they are beautiful now. You got big mature trees all around. So it will eventually grow into something beautiful. But for now, when you buy new construction, it's gonna be a little immature. And when it comes to the disadvantages of resale homes, the first one is going to be more competition. You're gonna have a lot more competition when you're shopping out there for a resale home. I'm talking multiple bids, bidding wars, and I get it. Bidding wars are very overwhelming. I hear people tell me all the time, I will not get into a bidding war. And I say it's gonna be really tough. Unless you're looking for something that's been on the market for 2 or 3 weeks, doesn't have any offers, you're not gonna have a bidding war. But that first weekend, especially if you see something you love, there's probably 5 other families that love it too. And that's where the bidding war will usually happen. So you're gonna have more competition when it does come to resale homes. Another disadvantage is the dated floor plans. I already mentioned this, a lot of people love the wide open, modern floor plans, and a lot of these older resale homes, they don't have it. Sometimes you'll see it if someone's gone through a renovation and they've knocked down walls. You're gonna have that resale home that's very wide open and it's gorgeous. It's gonna be a little pricier, but for the most part, you're gonna see a lot of those dated floor plans where everything's kind of walled off. So you might have to do some rearranging depending on what you're looking for. Next is you might have some expensive repairs. I'm talking 30-year-old roofs, 20-year-old furnaces, 12-year-old water heaters, all the stuff that's really at life expectancy. Sure, it might actually pass inspection and be fine today, and who knows how long it might work for still, but it's something that's gonna be hanging over your head that you're gonna be thinking about in the future because you don't know when that water heater is gonna pop. 12 years, that's a pretty old water heater, and yeah, it might work for a couple more years, but chances are it's gonna go out soon. 30-year-old roof probably needs a tune-up, probably more so needs to be completely replaced. So, keep that stuff in mind and you will need to budget for that. Or if you have a good agent, then you will definitely be able to hopefully get some credits and try to negotiate something to kind of help take that pressure off and, help that worry not be there. But just know to budget for it and you might have some bigger repairs. And that is probably the biggest disadvantage when it does come to resale homes, is just having money set aside to do these repairs when it does happen. But what's best for you, I don't really know. It's really gonna depend on what you're looking for, what stage of life you're in. And that's why it's so important that you guys do reach out to us so we can kind of help you down this process and see what's gonna be the best for you. That's what it's all about. So make sure you guys are reaching out. All of our information is right there down below. And I have a couple other videos right here that'll probably be extremely helpful too. So I'll see you there.